Couldn't do anything. This is your boy, What You Need. Oh, wow. Oh, well, whatever. You're watching my channel. If you like what you see, you can like, share, subscribe. This stream, all praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first. The stream is brought to you by L.I.V.E products. L.I.V.E, live now. We're live now. Let me show you some of our L.I.V.E products. Kind of tired. I need to comb my hair, all kinds of stuff, but I've been working all morning. So, in L.I.V.E products, we have the small size L.I.V.E drink. This is sorrel. Some of you know it as Jamaica. Some of you know it as Jamaica. It's a red drink, and it tastes spectacular. It's great. That's the small bottle. Those living in the Trinidad and Tobago area, I have small sorrel, and I have the big bottle of sorrel. Big bottle is $10. Small bottle is $4. I also have, in drinks, I have fruit punch. I have Morby. These are frozen. This is fruit punch. I have Morby. For those of you who don't know what Morby is, I don't know how to explain it. It's a bark from a tree. And you take it, you boil it, you put spices with it, and then you cool it, you sweeten it, and you give people to drink. It's a really wonderful drink. And let me see if I can get a Morby out of here so you can see the bigger bottle of Morby. It kind of froths. I don't know if you can see that here. You see that it kind of froths? See the froth on the top? So that's Morby. And then we also have sea moss. Sea moss is what I was preparing a while before. And I have some sea moss over here. I'll pull this one. That's what it looks like. Sea moss drink with the milk. And it's really good for you. It can help you with cancer, diabetes, and various illnesses. It's also just a healthy drink to drink. So I have sorrel, Morby, sea moss. I'm going to show you some more stuff here. We also have lime drinks. We also have lemon drinks. We also have orange juice. This is orange juice big. We have lime juice here. Let's see if I can pull the lime juice out. There you go. It's spilling all over the place. This is lime juice. We also have lemon juice. You guys like to call it lemonade. And we also have guava juice. Now, I don't know if you guys know what guava is. Guava is like a fruit. It's really nice. This is sort of pinkish in color. You can't really see the real color here. The lighting is not helping me. So this is guava drink. And then we also have here, we also have beetroot punch. This is beetroot punch. It's purple. This is a small bottle. Let me see if I can get the big one for you guys to see somewhere here. I have no big bottles here. And I also have pumpkin punch. Yeah, there's something called pumpkin punch, and it's really nice. It's sort of the yellowish color, like pumpkin. So I also have that. That's a small bottle of it. Let's see, what else am I missing? I also have grapefruit juice. This is a small bottle, grapefruit juice. So these are the various flavors of drinks, L.I.V.E drinks that I sell. And I wanted to talk to you guys about boxing. So we get into the boxing. I just wanted to give you some of my sponsorship. I also have snacks. I have nuts, salted. I don't have fresh right now. I don't have deep roasted salted. I also have, besides that, I also have granola. I have granola, chocolate and mint, and I also have granola and raisin. So there's all that going on. But I'm not here to talk about that. That's my sponsorship, but that's not what I'm going to talk to you guys about. I'm also going to talk to you guys about boxing. And if you see the title, you know that we're going to talk about why, people. Sorry about that. I don't know why they keep on talking about these things as if a professional pound for pound fighter doesn't know how to prepare for a fight. This is not your Mel Charlo. This is Terrence Crawford, pound for pound number one in the world, has gone up multiple weight divisions, has had a history of going up two divisions. He's skipped a division, went two divisions for a guy called Bredis Prescott. So this is not the first time Terrence Crawford has done this, skipping divisions and stuff and going fighting the guys. Besides that, he realized that Canelo was kind of comparable size. As a as a super middleweight, he's actually a small super middleweight, and that's what a lot of people don't realize, which is why Terrence Crawford said, match him up with me. You know, Judy Lauranga says hi. Judy Lauranga says, what chance does Crawford have against Canelo? It's a very, 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 very good chance against Canelo, actually. If you do your homework, you would know. Um, I've learned not to bet against Terrence Crawford. I thought that Sean Porter would beat him. I thought that I didn't think that Errol Spence would beat him because I saw he grew into the weight. But after he beat Sean Porter, it kind of made me realize maybe Terrence Crawford could win this. But I thought it would be a closer fight. So I don't doubt Terrence Crawford, and I'll make this bold statement. No one beats Terrence Crawford. No one. And I make this bold statement because I am beginning to realize how great Terrence Crawford really is as a boxer. So I expect Terrence Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, to be honest with you. And I think his career and his preparation has led him to this point. This is like the Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight, except Terrence Crawford is like going up into a new weight class to face a new fighter. And you guys are saying, well, since he's going into a new weight class, that means that he probably can't take the guy who's established in the weight class's punch. And that's not true. There's ways to prepare yourself for that. And I won't go into the details now, but after the fight has happened, I will tell you what I mean by the preparation for that. Okay? Because there are ways to ensure that you're prepared for something. And I'm going to go into it in some detail, definitely in the future, after this fight has happened. So Sunday morning, I'll tell you why I thought that Terrence Crawford would be ready, and probably if Canelo hit him at any point in time, he'd be able to handle whatever Canelo would hit him with. I'll explain to you how I know that. But as of now, what I want to say to you guys, I know nobody truly 100% knows what the future brings. But if you know anything about Floyd Mayweather and how much people put money on Floyd and they won money, if you got to put money on anybody, I suggest very strongly you put money on Terrence Crawford. I don't think you're going to go wrong. This is a different kind of fighter to all the other fighters I've seen. Terrence Crawford, Dimitri Bivol, and Floyd Mayweather have something in common besides beating Canelo. And that would be that their mindset is very strong. They have very strong minds. And that is something you can't pay for. Kudano says, and the new UFC welterweight champion of the world, Islam Makhachev, 100%, 100%. Illas lose open by Islam Makhachev. Well, I actually don't know who that is, to be honest with you, sir. You're telling me he's some sort of UFC champion, and that's cool. But I'm not speaking about Crawford because I'm black like Crawford. Like, that's not the reason I'm giving. I'm giving you actual concrete reasons why I believe Canelo is going to be beaten by Crawford. It's just even Oscar De La Hoya thinks Crawford will beat Canelo. And the reason this is that way is because Canelo is he has notoriously bad cardio when it comes to his feet. You know, even though you use pivot work And you can pivot on the inside to face an opponent. If you make the mistake and go down the wrong line. That is to say, let me see if I can explain this to you. So as I pivot right now, my image, which I'm seeing in this video, is pivoting with me to the same degree that I'm pivoting. So I'm always facing my opponent because I'm pivoting at the same rate and at the same degree with the same angle, counter angle, as my opponent. This is how opponents stay in front of each other because, as you know, opponents circle each other all the time in the center of the ring. They're going in one direction or the other. Why this is important for you to understand is because the degree to which you circle your opponent can get you into position or out of position, as well as the distance you are away from your opponent could have you in position or out of position. Canelo's a clever boxer, and so Canelo will try to inch in on Crawford, but Crawford knows these tricks. He knows how to establish range and distance. So because Canelo doesn't have the kind of foot cardio to keep up with Crawford when Crawford's turning or when he's changing different angles on Canelo, it puts him at a disadvantage and he can find himself out of position. And in that case, he's vulnerable to whatever Crawford would do to him. If you look at the Crawford versus Errol Spence fight, for example, it will give you a perfect example of what I mean by out of position. So even if you're attacking someone, you need to be defensively responsible and have certain things in place. If Canelo, for example, who's a counterpuncher, if he sets his trap and Terrence decides to go into the trap, deciding to counter the counter. For example, Canelo had backed up Floyd Mayweather on the ropes and thought he would be able to hit him, only to find out when he threw his jab that Floyd was countering over the jab, having established his jab to find out how far away Canelo was, countered over his jab, and then got out of the way of Canelo's shot and then pivoted out of there. Floyd set a trap for Canelo. Canelo set a trap, but Floyd sprung a trap off of his trap. So similarly, Bud is that kind of fighter. If you look at Bud versus Errol Spence is throwing his jab. Bud bait him into throwing the jab. And then Bud countered off the jab by stepping. He pivoted off to the side. So even though he stepped back at an angle, exposing Errol Spence to his counter, which was, I believe it was a left. I think it was a right hand left. So he threw a lead right hand, and then he countered with a left, and that caught Errol Spence off guard and knocked him down. That's the kind of thing that Crawford does. Crawford doesn't just respond to you in the way that a normal boxer would by staying directly in front of you. He will cut an angle off on you with very small movements. And he'll also just keep you just out of range so you're reaching in trying to find him, and then he can counterpunch you with combinations. So this is the kind of thing that Crawford does. And that's the kind of thing that Canelo could fall prey to very easily. And Canelo's explosive, he's quick, but I believe Crawford will be more quicker than Canelo would be. And I don't know how explosive he will be, but he'll be quicker than Canelo. And so that is the dilemma that Canelo has to deal with. He has to deal with somebody with speed, and I see Canelo has sort of trimmed down to get more speed out of his movements, his hand movements, his upper body movements, and even probably his lower body movements, more explosive. The thing about it is Canelo cannot maintain that. Like, he cannot maintain a high work rate with his feet. It's not that he's, people like to say he has cement feet or he has slow feet. He does kind of have slow feet, but what I mean is it's not really because his feet are slow. He's very quick. He's very explosive, so he can move very quickly. It's that he can't maintain that high rate of activity with his feet for very long. And that's what tires him out, amongst other things. And I have seen very few fighters that have gone to Canelo's body consistently. And that's something that Bud Crawford also does, which could tire out Canelo even more. And in the later rounds, if Canelo's fading, Bud will take over the fight. I don't know if he'll stop Canelo. I don't even know if he'll drop Canelo because Canelo has very good defense. And if Bivol didn't drop him and stop him, I don't know if Terence Crawford could do that. But what I do know is Terence Crawford could dominate him and beat him up pretty bad. So that's why when you look at this fight, I don't know how the fight will actually go. But the one thing I'm not going to do, and nobody's going to get me to do, and I don't care, is I'm not going to ever bet against Terence Crawford. Ever again. I've done it before. I've done it about 2 times before. And I ended up, eating crow. And I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't care if Canelo was a heavyweight. With the limitations that he has in his game, I would go with Terence Crawford. Canelo is by far a mid-range fighter. That's what he does. He likes to exchange in the pocket, but at mid-range. He doesn't like to be smothered close up, and he also doesn't like to be on the outside, having to go find somebody. So I think those are the reasons why, again, I don't think weight is going to be an issue in this fight. As much as a lot of people think so. Yes, would Crawford be the smaller guy? Probably. Would Canelo be the guy with the strength and power? Maybe. We'll see. We thought Errol Spence would be the guy with strength and power, and Canelo and Crawford proved us wrong on that. So who's to say? Maybe Crawford might be the stronger guy, but probably not the more powerful guy. Strength and power are two different things, as you know. Pajaro East E.S. Baca says, Canelo, TKO, body shot, round 8. Oh, that's a nice thought. I don't think so, but it's a nice thought. I always thought that this fight, if it ever happened, Crawford would beat Canelo. And I think Canelo was hesitant to face Crawford for 2 reasons. One, he thought if he beat Crawford, he would be too small for him, people would say. And if Crawford beat him, it wouldn't look good that a smaller guy beat him. But it was a fight that everybody wanted to see. Pressure was put on Canelo. Money was put in front of Canelo, so he has taken the money and he said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to give it the best shot. But honestly, Canelo with his limitations versus Crawford, who does not have those kinds of limitations, and therefore has more options on how to beat Canelo, really is at a disadvantage to Canelo. As good as he is, he fights at one particular range. He has to get to that range, by hook or by crook. So that's why and I'm not saying that Canelo can't box off the back foot, but he's going to be a sitting duck if he tried to do something like that. I know he was trying, goad Terence Crawford into a trap, like he tried to goad Floyd Mayweather. But I'm telling you right now, that stuff ain't going to work against Crawford. I don't believe so. So that's where I'm at. Moto INZ says, I see Crawford more calmer. Yes, both of them are calm. Canelo's clever, but Mexican style also. And there's nothing wrong with Mexican style per se. It's just the limitations I see in his style. And it has to do with him not working on certain aspects of his game to expand himself. He was content with what he had. And I think certain areas of his game just were not developed enough. And with a guy like Crawford, you need every single element or aspect of boxing to beat him. He's very notoriously difficult to beat. A lot of people don't realize that. So as much as Crawford's coming up 2 weight classes from 154, he is a different beast than Charlo. Okay, he's done this before. He's jumped 2 weight classes before. He's gone up multiple weight classes before. And that's something Jermell Charlo didn't have. And then Jermell Charlo always kind of counted on his power to bail him out of certain fights. Anyway, guys, I'm going to try and hit the road. The rain just stopped. I think I need to go out there and work. And I have a couple things I still have to do here. I'm trying to remember what they are. I need to take a bath. I need to put those clothes to wash. And I have to mop out the place before I go. So I will see you guys later. I am what you need. You've been watching my channel. 41 of you guys. That means there's a lot of interest in this fight. Leave your comments, whether it's in the chat or otherwise. Leave your comments on this fight. We'll come back after the fight is done. Hopefully, I'll have enough time to come out, and I don't know if I'll be able to watch with you guys and record the fight live. I would have loved to do that and give my own commentary on it, but that might be very difficult for me to do given the limited resources I have. So that's probably not on the cards this time around. But it's a fight I'll love to see, so I'll be there watching it, but I won't be able to record myself watching it and give you commentary. So right after the fight ends and the results are given, I will try to update you guys on that. You expect 2 or 3 more videos as the course of the day goes along. I'm what you need. This is a great fight, and it's going to be a history-making fight for sure. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Peace to everybody.